The world of professional boxing is no stranger to drama, but the ongoing feud between Floyd Mayweather and Bill Haney, coupled with swirling rumors of Mayweather's financial troubles, has taken the sport's controversies to new heights. Reports of a staggering $500 million debt, accusations of unpaid obligations, and a history of questionable business dealings have cast a shadow over Mayweather's once untouchable legacy. At the center of this storm is Bill Haney, who has seized every opportunity to mock Mayweather's alleged downfall, framing it as a cautionary tale of greed and betrayal. Their rivalry, rooted in personal and professional grievances, has exposed deep tensions within the boxing community and raised questions about Mayweather's financial stability, his character, and his place in the sport's history. The narrative begins with whispers of Mayweather's financial woes, a stark contrast to the image of opulence he has cultivated for decades. Known for flaunting diamond-encrusted watches, private jets, and sprawling mansions, Mayweather has long branded himself as Money Mayweather, a champion whose wealth was as legendary as his undefeated record. Yet, recent claims suggest that this empire may be more illusion than reality. Reports circulating in the boxing world and amplified by figures like Haney point to an alleged personal debt exceeding $500 million. The specifics of this debt remain murky, but one story gaining traction involves an event Mayweather reportedly hosted in Dubai. According to sources, he failed to pay athletes involved, a serious offense in a country where debt is not taken lightly. Unlike in the United States, where unpaid bills might lead to lawsuits or damaged credit, Dubai's legal system is said to be far less forgiving, potentially escalating Mayweather's troubles. Bill Haney, father and trainer of lightweight champion Devin Haney, has been relentless in his criticism, using Mayweather's alleged financial struggles as ammunition in their ongoing feud. "If you need some help, Floyd, I'm in the streets," Haney taunted, a jab that underscores both his disdain for Mayweather and his confidence in his own rising influence in boxing. Haney's remarks are not just about money. They reflect a deeper rivalry that has simmered for years, fueled by personal betrayals and professional jealousies. The tension between the two camps reached a boiling point when Mayweather allegedly leaked sparring footage of a young Devin Haney struggling against Gervonta Davis. The clip surfaced just days before Devin's high-stakes fight with Ryan Garcia, a timing that Haney and his team interpreted as a deliberate attempt to undermine his confidence. Once a mentor to Devin, Mayweather's actions were seen as a betrayal, sparking outrage among fans and fighters alike. The leaked footage incident is just one chapter in a saga of deteriorating relations. Devin Haney later discovered that Garcia had used the clip to mock him, suggesting that Mayweather may have intentionally allowed the footage to reach his opponent's hands. What could have been a moment of discretion between boxing insiders became a public spectacle, highlighting the pettiness that often accompanies personal grudges in the sport. Bill Haney didn't hold back in his response, accusing Mayweather of obsessing over wealth while secretly grappling with financial ruin. He argued that Mayweather's constant focus on money, whether boasting about his cars or his jewelry, masks a deeper instability. "You always talking about your money," Haney said in a heated exchange. "We not even here talking about no money. You brought the money up." For Haney, Mayweather's fixation on wealth is a facade, a way to distract from the cracks in his empire. The financial allegations against Mayweather extend beyond unpaid debts in Dubai. Critics, including Haney, have pointed to a shift from competitive boxing to exhibition matches as evidence of financial desperation. Once a dominant force in the ring, Mayweather has spent recent years facing YouTubers, influencers, and lesser-known fighters in lucrative but low-risk bouts. To Haney, this move is less about staying active in the sport and more about chasing easy paydays to sustain his lavish lifestyle. "When your A game is gone, what adjustment are you gonna make?" Haney asked rhetorically, suggesting that Mayweather's exhibition fights are a far cry from the strategic brilliance he once displayed against elite opponents like Manny Pacquiao or Canelo Alvarez. The implication is clear: Mayweather's priorities have shifted from legacy to profit, a choice that has alienated some fans and peers. Concerns about Mayweather's business practices also extend to his inner circle. Haney has publicly questioned how money is distributed within Mayweather's team, noting that some longtime members appear to be under financial strain despite Floyd's claims of running a thriving promotional company. He specifically called out the situation with Calvin Ford, coach to Gervonta Davis, arguing that if Mayweather's operation were truly successful, Ford and others shouldn't be struggling. "Ain't no way your fighter gonna be checking the money y'all talking about and Calvin gonna be looking like that," Haney said, urging Davis to ensure his coach is properly compensated. This critique strikes at the heart of Mayweather's Money Team brand, suggesting that the wealth he projects doesn't trickle down to those who have supported him for years. The feud has also taken on a personal dimension, with Haney accusing Mayweather of sabotaging Devon's career out of jealousy. Reports suggest that Mayweather was upset when Devon secured lucrative fight deals, allegedly voicing frustration that he wasn't offered similar opportunities. In response, Mayweather is said to have made comments about ensuring Devon couldn't secure major fights in the future, whispering to promoters and fighters like Rolando Romero and Gervonta Davis to avoid him. "I'ma make it tough for you," Mayweather reportedly said, a move that Haney described as backdoor stuff. For Bill Haney, this was not just a professional slight, but a betrayal of the boxing community's unwritten code. "Where your people from the streets that you put on?" he asked, challenging Mayweather to show how his success has uplifted those around him. The criticism of Mayweather's character doesn't stop with Haney. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has added fuel to the fire, suggesting that Mayweather's constant displays of wealth may be a cover for financial mismanagement. "I don't think he's got the money he says," Hearn said, pointing to the high costs of maintaining Mayweather's extravagant lifestyle. From private jets to a retinue of hangers-on, the expenses add up quickly, and Hearn speculated that Mayweather's exhibition fights are less about legacy and more about necessity. This perspective aligns with broader doubts about whether the Money Mayweather brand still holds real value, or whether it's a carefully curated image propped up by increasingly desperate measures. Mayweather's public image has also been tarnished by controversies outside the ring. A particularly damaging episode involved a feud with rapper 50 Cent, who challenged Mayweather to read a page from a Harry Potter book, implying that he lacked basic literacy skills. The challenge gained traction after a viral clip showed Mayweather struggling to read a radio script, fueling speculation about his education. While Mayweather dismissed the rumors, arguing that reading ability doesn't define his greatness as a boxer, the controversy raised questions about his ability to manage the complex financial and legal matters that come with his empire. For critics, it was another crack in the facade of invincibility he had worked so hard to maintain. Perhaps the most damning blow to Mayweather's reputation came from his involvement in a cryptocurrency scam. Promoting Ethereum Max alongside celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Antonio Brown, Mayweather encouraged fans to invest in the digital coin, promising shared wealth. However, the coin's value plummeted by 97% shortly after its launch, leaving countless investors bankrupt while Mayweather reportedly profited without ever buying the coin himself. The backlash was swift and fierce, with fans accusing him of betraying their trust. Terms like "scam weather" began trending, reflecting the depth of public disillusionment. "They'll sell their soul for a couple of bucks," one critic remarked, encapsulating the sentiment that Mayweather's actions prioritized personal gain over the well-being of his supporters. The Ethereum Max scandal wasn't an isolated incident. Mayweather has faced accusations of scamming in other ventures, including an NFT project where he promised autographed gloves to investors but allegedly failed to deliver. Jake Paul added to the narrative, claiming that Mayweather hadn't paid his brother Logan for their widely publicized exhibition fight. "Floyd is broke," Jake said bluntly, suggesting that Mayweather's failure to pay wasn't carelessness but a sign of financial desperation. Logan himself confirmed the unpaid debt, noting that he wouldn't pursue a rematch if he hadn't been compensated for the first fight. These accusations paint a picture of a man whose public persona is at odds with his private reality, struggling to maintain the image of a billionaire while allegedly leaving a trail of unpaid obligations. Joe Rogan offered a broader perspective on Mayweather's fall from grace, arguing that the public's anger stems not from his wealth but from how he wields it. "People hate him because he talks so much shit," Rogan said, pointing to Mayweather's relentless bragging about his watches, cars, and jets. This arrogance, coupled with his willingness to manipulate and belittle others, has overshadowed his achievements in the ring. For Rogan, Mayweather's genius lies in his ability to keep making money long after his competitive career, but that same genius has made him a polarizing figure. "He creates envy," Rogan noted, a dynamic that fuels both his fame and his infamy. As the feud with Haney and the rumors of financial trouble continue to dominate headlines, Mayweather's legacy hangs in the balance. Once celebrated as one of the greatest boxers of all time, he now faces scrutiny for his business dealings, his treatment of peers, and his priorities. Bill Haney's relentless attacks, combined with the voices of promoters, fighters, and fans, have painted a portrait of a man consumed by the pursuit of wealth, even at the cost of his reputation. Whether Mayweather can weather this storm, or whether his empire will crumble under the weight of debt and distrust, remains to be seen. For now, the boxing world watches, divided between those who still see him as a legend and those who believe the Money Mayweather era is over.